Good morning, South Anchorage High School. I'm Kate, and today is Wednesday, April 14th. First off, PTSO has a great opportunity for graduating South Anchorage High School seniors called the Bo Seward Scholarship. The Bo Seward Scholarship will be awarded to one graduating South Anchorage High School senior in recognition of outstanding community service and will be given a $2,000 scholarship as well as a $500 award given to the charity or nonprofit organization of the student's choice. Applications are available from the link below, um, the PTSO website, or from counselors and are due May 1st. On another note, South Boys Soccer plays tomorrow against Chugach, so if you know someone who plays soccer, wish them good luck. And yesterday, the girls' soccer team played East and won 12-0, meaning they're still undefeated for this season. Now moving over to Seth and the Zoom crew for any updates for South. Take it away, Seth.
Thank you, Kate. Um, Everybody's here as always. I hope everybody's doing good. And Dr. Allman, do you have any updates for us today?
Yeah, I think the biggest update is that everyone's paying attention to, and we just need to put a little bit more context around, is the new emergency order. So there have been some big changes there. Previous to this emergency order, we were not allowed to do any indoor ceremonies or indoor gatherings outside of the school day. But now we have that opportunity. So we can have up to 140 individuals for an indoor event, as long as they are 6 feet apart, have a mask on, and no food is involved in that particular event. And for each of those events, if we want to have them, we do have to provide a seating plan and kind of a map of what that's going to look like so that we make sure that we meet mitigation efforts. So I think that's good news because it's a step in the right direction, and it does allow us to do some of the extracurricular things that we might want to do in the spring. So that's a big thumbs up from the new emergency order. The other thing that it affects is graduation. We had generally said that every high school graduation in the Anchorage School District was going to be limited to 2 tickets per graduate for spectators. That is now not an absolute requirement. However, I would say that now we have to go out to the field, which is where I just was before I came to this show, and actually measure our turf to figure out how much space it will take to fit our graduates all 6 feet apart. And then after we know that particular part, we'll start measuring for spectators. And one thing about South that is a challenge, and I don't think we should call it anything else, is that we have one set of bleachers. And so if you've ever been to a football game, a soccer game, a flag football game, a track meet, you understand that we have that one static set of bleachers that are on the north side of our turf. So that will be a primary place for parents and others who are attending graduation to sit. And then after that, we are going to have to take the chairs out of the classrooms, the ones that have a sled or shaped like a sled leg on them, and then put those on our turf and track in isolated areas so parents can sit. At this time, we don't know exactly how many chairs we can fit in a 6-foot distance grid pattern so that we can make sure we can keep each family unit safe. But that's work that we're going to do tomorrow with a good old fashioned tape measure and cones, and take a picture of it. And then we're going to do some simple math problems to figure out how many folks we can let into graduation. And so what that means is the capacity or the number of folks that each graduate can invite is really going to depend on how many seats outside of the bleachers we can put on the turf and the track around the graduates after they are spaced 6 feet apart, and the stage is put on the turf, and the sound booth is put on the turf, and some other elements that have to be there for graduation. So all of that being said, once we have 1 degree more certainty, meaning that number of total graduates and the seats that we have, we'll do that quick division problem, and then I'll make sure to send out a message to all seniors and their parents about what the plan is moving forward. I know there's a big desire out there to have more details. I just haven't been able to share them up to this point because the rules keep changing. So I think this is going to be the last rule change before graduation. Seniors out there only have 3 weeks of school left, so we're going to have to start building the plan and making sure everyone knows what that plan is. So more to come in writing, and probably also via a robocall for me when I have the calculations done.
All right, cool. Well, that's a lot of information. And that kind of answers one of the questions that we were asked today, which is, are there any changes to the number of allowed guests at graduation? So if somebody's watching out there, that was your question. Well, you kind of answered it. Anyways,
I would say probably. Yeah, I don't know how many more. But the idea is, so you can envision it, if this is a really important issue to you, is the stage will be across from the home bleachers, so that if you're in the bleachers, you will be looking at the stage and you will be looking over the graduates, kind of like if you sat in the back of the Sullivan Arena or on one of the back corners. And then we will put chairs on the track behind the graduates and on the sides of the graduates and create kind of a U shape with an aisle in the middle, so that every parent, no matter where they're sitting, will at some point easily be able to see their graduate either proceed into the ceremony, walk across the stage and around the outside, or proceed out of the venue. And that is one thing that I should mention that became clear as I was thinking aloud about this, is that we will proceed in with your teachers leading you this year rather than juniors. And those teachers will also march you out of the venue. And that's because our entire stage, our setup, the audio has to immediately be broken down and go all the way out to Eagle River High School to be set up for their graduation that same afternoon. So we do have to move kind of fast after the ceremony's over.
Okay. And then the other question is, will there be any summer school classes offered this year?
Yes, Miss Mounscraft is actually the principal at that site, so you'll recognize her there. They'll have a full range of classes offered. The way you get signed up for those is really talking to your South counselor. So if you get to the end of your school year and you need summer school or you want to get ahead, it doesn't matter which of those it is, just talk to your counselor. They're going to be working on making sure kids get enrolled in the appropriate program. And there are 4 sites for summer school. So I think for the South High School crew, that's probably either Diamond High School or Handshoe Middle School. And each site has a middle school and a high school program. So even if you had to go to Handshoe, you would still get access to high school classes, high school principal, high school counselor, and all of those things that you need to support getting the credit that you're after.
All right, cool. That's all of our questions for today. So thank you so much, Dr. Allman, for coming in and answering those questions for us. And I'm going to send it back off to Kate to finish the stream.
All right, thanks, Seth. That's all we've got for today, South. Follow us on Instagram at Sahs The Den if you have any more updates. If you've got any questions, submit them at southvote.com. And check back next week for more info. All right, enjoy the rest of your week, you guys, and keep your claws sharp, Wolverines.